Hey everyone, here's a quick video explaining the March Madness persuasive paragraph. If you haven't watched the persuasive paragraph video with this matching with the slideshow, please watch that first. This is more of an explanation on what I expect from this assignment. So I'm going to read through the page, really try and just talk through it and add any additional details that I would normally in class. But really just if you have any questions, hopefully that they get answered here. Obviously, if you have any questions after, feel free to reach out to me in email or hangout or during the live days, and we'll go from there. Okay. So I'm just going to read through it and kind of add on to it as we go. So in the text box below, and this is on the third page, write a 5 to 6 sentence paragraph detailing why you think that your book deserves the title of the best book ever written. Remember to include the proper formatting and flow that we have learned on how to create an effective, persuasive paragraph. This includes, and you can go further, you can go more than 5 or 6 sentences if you like, but let's try and limit it to about 8 at most, okay? So this includes stating your topic and defending your stance in an engaging way, include examples and facts that strengthen your argument, and use effective transition words to give flow to your paragraph. This will help engage your readers and your audience. Remember, you are trying to convince your audience that your book deserves the glorious title of best book ever written. Engage them and make your arguments interesting and to the point. In the future, you'll acknowledge opposing viewpoints in an attempt to strengthen your argument. We discussed this a little bit in the previous video that I mentioned. For this assignment, however, simply focus on 3 positive reasons that support your argument. Again, why your book is the best. Be sure to provide an example from your book for each supporting point. Use the outline on the following page to plan and guide your writing. The area for typing your paragraph is on the last page. So when I share this on Google Classroom, you can write right on that document. Again, you don't need to share it with me once it's done on there. Below, you find an example of an effective persuasive topic about a future field trip. This is included to show you how a persuasive paragraph can be effectively structured to engage the audience. So here's a sample persuasive paragraph. Dear Principal, while we are at Callaway Park on June 27th, there should be a modified dress code. First of all, parents should decide what their children wear because their opinion needs to be taken into consideration. Even though some teachers would argue that some clothing is inappropriate, if a child's parent thinks it looks appropriate when they buy it, then they should be able to wear it to school. In addition, every person has a unique body type which makes clothing fit differently. For example, 2 people may wear the same item of clothing and one will break the dress code while the other will not. Finally, our teachers are always pointing out to dress for the weather. Due to the hot weather on most summer days, if you follow the current dress code, you have a possibility of getting heat stroke when overdressed. For these reasons, we should be allowed to have a modified dress code on our Callaway Park field trip this year. Thank you for your consideration, example student. Now, again, this isn't my stance. This is an example stance of an argument that a student could make to try and convince someone that there should be a modified dress code on certain days. They could argue that for the entire year and bring up different points, but this is how a paragraph could be structured to sway a decision onto their side of an argument. Now, here's our persuasive writing outline. And for this part, you can just use point form. This is just guiding your writing and getting set. So, topic is already chosen for you. Why is your chosen book the best one ever written? Your thesis statement, type what you're arguing for here. I think that, or the best book ever written. Actually, I take that back. I said, I think that. Again, you don't want to use the word I or my or in my opinion because you want this to be universal. You don't want it to just seem like it's your opinion that Harry Potter is the best book ever written. You want it to seem universal in the fact that, no, it's a fact, not an opinion that the best book ever written is Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone. So you want to type that into your thesis statement. I put an example down here. You can erase that if you like. That's up to you. After that, you want your first supporting statement and then provide an example from the book. After that, type yours here. When you do this, you can click on these, not the whole thing, but you can take this out, delete it, type in your point, and then leave it from there. I'm just going to leave it there as this is the template. And then the same here. You can delete everything and I want to see the planning process there to know how you're doing it. So all the same things, supporting point 1, provide an example, supporting point 2, provide an example, supporting point 3, provide an example. And then finally, your conclusion. Sum up your arguments, repeat your thesis, make sure it's clear what your stance is, and go from there. Remember, try and be a little more imaginative than just saying, in conclusion, these are all the reasons why. Think of a way to reword your thesis statement. Even though so an example would be, even though some teenagers are responsible, the majority of teens are too immature to be driving at 16. Therefore, the law should be changed to allow teens to drive once they reach the age of 18. It's a good summative statement or a good summary of what was all said in a paragraph. These are some examples of transition words you could use, however, first, second, although, more importantly, I don't need to read them all out for you, but I also provide those links in the slideshow for some potential transition words that you could use there. So, here's your area where you will create your masterpiece, where you will create the defense of the best book ever. So, use this box, submit it through Google Classroom, and I look forward to hearing your guys' defenses of some of your favorite books that you have ever read. Thanks for all your hard work, guys. I look forward to reading it. Thanks. Have a good day.